Hi, everyone. My name is Jamie Smith. I am the Chief Education and Compliance Officer with Premier Geriatric Solutions. I will be your host today on Nurse Deck podcast. And today we have Lea we are interviewing. Hi there, Lea.
Hi, I'm glad to be here and I'm like flattered that I've been on an interview. I've never been on an interview before, so this is my first.
Well, we are excited to interview you. Thank you for your time today.
You're very welcome, my pleasure.
How did you fall into nursing, Lea? Can you tell us about your journey and what made you decide to go into nursing?
Oh, it's a long story, long story. Well, when I was like in elementary, I was so fascinated with buildings. Literally, I would draw buildings and houses and all that. And it came to my mind, I would like to be an architect. And my brother at the time is in high school. He's 6 years older than me. And he is on a trade school. So his elective subject is into like drawing and making some blueprints. And I saw him drawing that. Sometimes I would steal his engineering pencils because they were good compared to mine. And and he would be mad at me. And then I would really like tell my family, I would really want to become an architect when I grow up. But there's a hurdle on that thing because I was struggling with math. I'm poor with numbers. No matter how my parents would really educate me, there was one summertime that they would really like, hey, this is a principle, this is multiplication, this is division and all that. And all my cousins and my friends are like, I hear them, hey, playing around and swimming in the river. And here I am in the house schooling, and I don't think it stick to my mind because my brain was on my cousins playing around. And my father was just like, you know what, we better stop this because this is not working. This is not working. So they stopped. They just let me whatever I would be for as long as the condition was for as long as I would pass my math. So that was the hurdle. My grades on other subjects are okay, I'm sorry, but math, no. And all my other siblings, they're good at math, except me.
Oh, okay.
And then it came to my mind like, I was not really planning about nursing at all. Not planning at all. When I graduated high school, I was just like, oh my God, what should I do? And my mother would came there, it's like, hey, what are you doing in the house? Your classmates are already enrolling in college. And what are you doing? Come on, get up. And so I did without nothing in my mind, but my mother would say, enroll in education. I need you to become a teacher. And I said, no way, I don't want to follow my parents' footsteps. I just don't like it. And so when I was like going into like enrolling into college, like into the city, I live in a town which is 24 kilometers from the city. And I met my classmate and it's like, hey, are you going to enroll too? It's like, yeah. It's like, and what are you going to enroll? I have no idea too. So, so, so the two of us just, okay, we'll just like stop by here in the school is called Divine Word College. Now it's not, the name is changed into Holy Name University now, but that was Divine Word College. So we went in there and then we say, oh, well, just like, because we're undecided, right? We're undecided. Oh, yeah, we're undecided. So we went in there. So we'll just like take the course of AB. It's called AB, Bachelor of Arts. So like a general course. But then we stumbled into this, oh, nursing. First year we're okay, but then they will reevaluate us to enter the real nursing course on our second year. So we're kind of like, okay, let's enroll this. And if we pass, okay. If we fail, there we go. We have AB. And so that 4 years, we pass every time we pass. So we become nursing. So and then we came into our mind, okay, what we're gonna do, we become nurse. And so there's a lot of role models in our country at the time. When you're a nurse, you have a lot of opportunity. You can go anywhere, you can work anywhere in the world. Wow, that's flattering, flattering. Like, okay, then this is our opportunity, a vessel to work somewhere else. And then our mind was like, okay, United States of America. That's it. We will go to United States of America. And so, and so there we go. And then when I was into nursing, I reinvent myself. Reinvent myself. We are being taught for that 4 years that nursing is a vocation. You are there to save lives, and you are not there to play life. And I've seen a lot, and I have no idea. Maybe I'm destined to be a nurse because I was able to connect to the patient, connect to the rest, to the family. I work in the Philippines and for quite years, and then there it goes. And I was just like going to the flow and become a nurse. And surprisingly, with my family, I'm the youngest, and all of them don't like blood. And surprisingly, I become suddenly like, hey, you are the go-to person. It's like, what's going on with you? Like culturally, we should look up with our like elders, like older siblings. But surprisingly, they look up at me. It was like, now it's reversed. You're the nurse. You're the nurse. Decide, because you're the nurse. I was like, okay, and then all you guys will follow me, and no more with this bureaucracy of, oh, you're the elder and you're the youngest, and you're like, your decision is not really important. So here I am. I have to decide. Parents got old and all that. So now all my classmates are like, yeah, most of us work abroad. We call it abroad because outside from our country, we come from the Philippines. And some of my classmates works here too, like here in the United States. So a lot of us here too. We have a reunion. Like, when was that? I couldn't even remember. So that was my story of becoming a nurse.
Got it. So just to make sure we understand, you said in elementary school you were fascinated by buildings, architecture. Your family was really good with numbers. You said your brother did blueprints. That inspired you. You realized you struggled with math. You were not as good at it as the rest of the family. Ultimately realizing just not for you, you had to do something else. And then in high school, your mom said, hey, you got to figure something out. You got to go to school. So you decided maybe you would pursue education, but then you decided you didn't want to follow in your parents' footsteps. And you met a classmate who was in the same boat. They had no clue. And then you went for a Bachelor of Arts. You ended up passing your nursing classes, and you found that you connected to patients and families. You worked in the Philippines for a number of years, and you work abroad. You said United States now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm here in California.
Okay. All right. Did I miss anything there, or is that like everything in a nutshell?
It's everything in there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I see that you have been in the mental health field for roughly 15 years. How is it to be a mental health specialist, and what made you decide on the field of nursing?
Okay, now there's another one. Did I plan this? No. So I came here in the United States through marriage. So I married an American citizen.
Okay.
So when I came here, so I tried to apply, but my husband's cousin worked in a it's called residential therapeutic center, and she told me, hey, we have an opening, come on, apply. Then I did apply, and I was at first I was it's called a mental health worker. I don't have my license yet because I still have to take the board here. So that was my job. And then while on that job, I start for the exam. And then I passed with the LVN licensure and not the RN licensure.
Okay.
So when I have the LVN licensure, now the company that I work is it's called Royale Royale Therapeutic Residence Center offered me the licensed job to become a medication nurse. And then to my surprise, the question was, because I was working knock shift as a mental health worker, and the question was, how would you like to work AM shift? I was like, hello, that's miracle. It's like, oh yeah, I would love that. And so they trained me to the medication room, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge. So, well, I did not complain. I have a job. I was happy because that was the main goal, to have a job. And from there, there is the current job right now, like which is West Anaheim Therapeutic Residential Center. They advertise that they want a part-time, and this job is much closer than where I live. So it's within the city where I live, which is Anaheim. And so I was like, this is a better opportunity. So I work as a part-time on my current job, and then I have my full-time on Royal Therapeutic Residential Center. And then while I was working those two jobs, something got sour on my previous job, and I decided, you know what? I think I love the work, the people that work over there. It's just the management sucks. They become like, I have no idea why. So I just like, you know what? This, I don't have time for this. I have my own life. So I quit there and transferred to my part-time job. So I was in the nursing department at the time. And then once the mental health specialist position opened, I transferred there because my sister-in-law is working in the nursing department. The goal was, if we will work on the same department, if we plan a vacation like overseas, of course, only one will be granted. So I have to work into another department so that she will apply vacation, she'll be granted, I will apply a vacation, I will be granted, so we'll be kind of like happy. So that was the main goal for that. And then when I was in the mental health department, my title shift into a mental health specialist. And the job there is kind of like a hybrid of a case manager. Hold on a moment. Kind of like a case manager, and then, but most of all, is like a social work type of work. So we work hand in hand with the social worker. I have a caseload to run, and I accepted the challenge because the schedule was quite right. Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 4. No one can beat that schedule anywhere. And it really fits with my schedule with my husband, who is working day shift too. So the work is very challenging, but I keep telling myself, you know what? If I will be willing to learn, there's nothing like a barrier, a hurdle, because I'm willing to learn. So they teach me how to manage with these behaviors. At the time, my boss is a registered occupational therapist. So they trained me to be kind of like a little bit of them. A little bit of an occupational therapist, and running groups, how to run a group, how to present topics. But I reinvent myself. I did all the assignment to learning a subject is a different thing, but presenting a subject is a different thing, especially that my clientele is on the mentally disabled population. So it's not like I'm talking about like just like me and you, a normal crowd, but my crowd is different. So I have to reinvent myself every time. Every time I have to learn, I have to follow the standard way of giving a group, and I kind of like quite kind of like what's the term, like feel at home with it. And even though my caseload was, oh boy, they give me all the bad caseload, the bad kind of like have a lot of problems, a lot of issues. But then at the end of the day, even if my coworkers are just like their caseload is like lesser difficult than mine, but I take that as, this is a learning opportunity for me. I have to learn how to deal with this, and you know what, I'm strong. And if I'm not going home right away, because all the behaviors happen when you are about to clock out. Jesus Christ.
Or yeah.
So I just like tell myself, you know what, today I'm making a lot of money today. Even though not, because Uncle Sam if you have overtime. But I just like, oh, more money for me. And then I don't feel bad. And I've learned a lot. I have no regret with this current job of mine, because it teaches you how to use a lot of different coping strategies, because coping strategies is not good for everyone. What works for me, I don't think would work for you, Jamie. I have no idea. For sure, it will not work. But of all the tools that the occupational therapy consultant that we have in services, oh boy, in services, my goodness, I use this because in my line of job, the use of yourself as a therapeutic self is very beneficial, because one of this residents of ours, we call it resident because they live there, they're gonna ask this question: have you done that? How does it go? Do you have that experience? Do you have a mental illness too? So all this type of question, because I don't blame them. They don't have like this filter like us. So whatever question they have, they would ask that question to you. So I don't regret. And the most beneficial thing that I got from this job is I kind of like make this idea in my mind, a mindset to de-stress myself. Like if I'm at work, I'm not being paid, why do I have to worry about work? Now, if I'm clocking in, of course, I have to worry and think of strategies how I'm gonna make my job, my 8 hours easier. I've seen that on my coworkers. Like, why are they doing that? How about doing this? I would give suggestions. How about we will do this, and then plan A, plan B, plan C, and then see how we go with this plan. And sometimes most of my plans are like working. So when they hear me talking, like, can I talk? And then they will listen to me. I have no idea why these ideas would just pop up on my brain every time we have a meeting. And a lot of them buy the idea that, hey, I'm not being paid, why do I have to worry? So leave that stress there, and then face the stress when we come back the following day. So that was the nicest feeling, And also, it is very nice to see a progress when a new admission come to us. We could not even understand. Oh God. And then with with the magic of medication, like right medication, right dose, we see a whole transformation of a different person, and we discharge them. And not to brag, our facility, we have a very nice connection with our community partners because we don't discharge resident that is not ready. We discharge residents that is ready in the community. They are not perfect. Everybody understand that, but at least if you try to engage to them, they can grasp the idea and then and kind of like tailored instead of being violent in there and not taking their medication and all that. But although there are some setbacks, but they trust our facility, they trust us how we work in there, and that they would love to take our referrals compared to others.
I'd like to point
Uh,
out how you said, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
okay. Um, and then I keep telling, I just work here for how many years, blah blah blah. But you know what? I stay there. We've gone through hell over there, but I stay there. You know what? What makes me stay there is the schedule, and my boss really matters. She's not perfect, but she's the best boss I've ever worked. We kind of like work like a family there. We can go to her office if we are so overwhelmed. Her office is nice, cold, and there's a relaxing music in there. So we just go there and sit, and then go back to our office and go back to the chaos in the floor. So that's what matters.
Got it. So you said you are a mental health specialist. It's a social worker like role. It sounds like you like the schedule because it's a set time. The work is challenging, but it sounds like you overall love it. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We gotta have. I turn my mindset like I have to love this, and it can be done. I did it
So
instead of
Leah,
saying I don't love it. Yes.
so tell us, Leah, how was your experience as a clinical instructor? What is one great thing that you have learned from being a nurse educator that contributes to your role now?
Oh boy. Okay. The best part of that is being able to uh, present a topic, make it a concise because the book is so long, and how you're gonna present it. Presentation is a whole different thing. No matter how like you understand the whole topic, but when the way you present is really bad, no one can understand you. Now, I am a believer of a visual learner. I am a visual learner myself. So what I do is I make sure that I make a visual presentation about a topic, and from there get where the students are, and also learn from them. I mean, the student has the capacity of some knowledge in them, and meet where they are. It's not a good learning when I think of myself as the best and I think of themselves as inferior. And I'd like to ask their opinions where they are, so that I will know where to start. Do they have any idea of what we're talking about? Do they hear about even the word, or where they are? And so now I have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C in doing the classroom, because I don't know if plan A would work or plan B would work, or the combination of plan A, B, and C would really work better. So that's the best thing that I ever learned to become an instructor. Strategies all the time, and be ready, prepared. And I remember this, like, hey, you have a very like good salary because you are an instructor. And I was saying to them, you know what? Just remember, You guys are sleeping, and I was not sleeping because I'm making this presentation, and I sleep like 1 a.m. in the morning. So I think I deserve a salary. And then it was like, whoa, you know what? You're right. I was like snoring at the time, and you're still awake. Yeah, and then I have to wake up early in the morning because I don't want to be late. I don't like to be late. I like to be punctual wherever I go. Um, it's better to be at least 5 minutes, 15 minutes ahead rather than you are kind of like a dramatic entrance every time. So, uh, strategies and learning a lot, reading a lot. Um, when I become an instructor, that's where I start wearing eyeglasses. Because suddenly, when I read a book, I was like, "Wait a minute! Why the sentence is like going this way? This is not normal." So that's the time. So now, until now, I'm wearing eyeglasses. So that's okay. That's okay. There's a lot of stuff that I have to learn, and the best part is strategizing how you gonna present a topic, and that learning that I've caught from that job stays with me until now. So I I have a very good not bragging, but my one of our OTR consultant was saying to me, "Damn, why are you an LVN? You should be an OTR." It was like our consultant, because my license is LVN. So why are you an LVN? You should be an OTR. It was like, I'm not on the schooling right now, but you know what? You teach me, so I've got this OTR stuff from you. So that was the best part.
All right, so Leah, what is the biggest challenge or obstacle that you encountered while pursuing the path where you are now, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, the obstacle. The obstacle is we're dealing with a very psychotic patient. That's the obstacle, because medication is very tricky. If the patient is receiving less medication, like the dose is less, they're psychotic. But if the dose is more, they're psychotic too. So we need to be like very observant what's going on. And the obstacle is sometimes our coworker, our nurses is very difficult at the time. Um, so how did I overcome it? Now, I'm just so lucky that in my caseload, I have to deal with one doctor. And at the time, my schedule is not the same as his. I was working PM in every Monday, and he was there in Monday morning. And when I arrived, work to clock in, he's about to go out. So that was the greatest obstacle, because there are a lot of behaviors that needs to be discussed by the psychiatrist. But no one of my coworker would really try to talk to the psychiatrist because they're not working with him. And so what I did is, because I was frustrated, was like, how are we gonna do this? I can't even call the psychiatrist. And my hurdle is to talk to the nurse, and the nurse kind of like, there's a resistance. Like, that's why they're here. That's why they're here. They would rationalize that. It was like, and I have this idea, when I'm doing with my caseload, I'm not only like looking at the behaviors, but I'm looking with their medication, what are the changes? I'm looking with their medical condition, because those are intertwined and it will affect psychosis. That's my belief. And no one even my coworker is thinking that way but me. But then I'm determined to kind of like, you know what, you guys is not working, and we keep giving PRNs on this residents. Like, so what I did is I take the patients to write the names of all my caseload, what's happening to them, good report, bad report, and then I focus on is if there is a medication change, like a decrease in dose or an increase in dose or an additional of a new medication, or they have a tooth extraction, they have fatty liver, they have an outside appointment for they have a heart problem or they have an STD going on. I report everything to my psychiatrist where I work, and a couple of those he likes it. He called it love letter. I was like, when he called it was like, love letter? I'm not writing you a love letter. Yes, remember every week you give me this paper and you wrote everything about that. I like that one. It really helped me, and that's what he said. It keeps my job easier. I was like, oh my God, really? Yeah, it keeps my job easier, and you too. He told me. So every time, okay, love letter it is. And then if I don't make one because they become stable, and then he would say, hey, where's my love letter here? He said, they're all stable, status quo. All right, easy then. And so he likes that idea very much, so much so that now he implemented it, kind of like working, kind of like pushing it to my boss that, hey, the other mental health specialists should do this, just like what Lea is doing. And I kind of like felt proud of it because it's really important to report everything. And I learned that from my previous job. There is one resident there that would always ask for PRN. Whatever problem of the other people becomes her own problem, and then she would ask PRN and med-seeking behavior. And so when I reported that to the psychiatrist, oh my God, his face was like bright, and he was like, "Thank you very much for telling me that. I have no idea that this resident is like this." And so I was thinking, you know what? If I would tell everything to the doctor, then we can have a good doctor-nurse relationship. And then he respected me with that. And I kind of like felt proud about it, and also felt happy because I'm helping someone here who cannot make decision by herself. So themselves. So that was how I overcome the hurdle. And so now the scenario now changes. The nurses would really respect what I say, and they're gonna make the joke according to the recommendation of Dr. Nurse. They would say that, but it's just a funny joke. But you know what? I like to talk to them too and listen to their. Sometimes I make mistakes too. So if I make mistake, I would always say, you know what, my bad, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, and you are right, and I appreciate that. So telling people that they are right makes them feel good too, and telling people that I'm sorry, that I'm able to take my mistake and take responsibility. It's not easy at first, but I make it to the point practice, like accept responsibility. And then to my surprise, it makes the workplace like easier to work, and people would talk instead of, oh, I'm not talking to her, something like that. And there's a culture of talking, and a culture of meeting the minds, what we're gonna do, like without like, oh God, prejudices, that you are that, and I'm here, I'm the boss, I'm the, those type. So we are kind of like a talking community in our job.
Okay, so it sounds like one of the obstacles you have to deal with as a mental health specialist is dealing with psychotic patients and figuring out the right drug dosage. Is that right?
It's not really me who would figure it out, but I would present it to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist will make the decision. Oh, one thing I forgot. One time that my psychiatrist was telling me, he was so frustrated with me. He said, "Why are you trying to cure them?" I said, "I'm not trying, doctor. I'm telling you everything. We need help. You are the doctor and you're the prescriber. So now that I'm telling you everything, now it's in you because I'm gonna chart that I referred this behavior to you." And he was like, "Oh boy, now I have to do something." Yeah, you have to do something because I'm charting now. And so that kind of relationship, I'm not dictating them. So kind of like finding the right word on how to talk to the doctor, because doctors sometimes they have this ego, very big ego, and uh, like strategizing how to communicate, like communication styles, not dictating. So my psychiatrist like that. Like I'm not dictating. I'm boasting his ego at the same time. Like you are the prescriber, you are the doctor.
Lea, thank you for that information. So, what is your next step or any career plan that you are looking at pursuing?
Oh, I'm pursuing right now to become kind of like a writer.
Cool.
That's on my mind.
What kind of writing? Like medical writing or what? Like,
Geared towards the arts,
cool.
and at the same time, fusing it into bedside. How we're gonna communicate, what kind of style of communication we can implement, and how far can we go to communicate actually, like how far, how your kind of like desire to help a patient. So I'm trying to fuse that one. Hopefully I can make that idea. I already have a person that to contact with,
Cool.
that would help me when I'm ready. So I met him in LinkedIn. So okay, what else?
Um, I can relate to you there. Writing is a stress reliever for me as well. I'm an author of Geriatric Notes. It's a medical book, so I think it's
Mhm.
cool that you enjoy writing. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, how do you think society views nurses today?
Um, I don't really have an idea, but I think it's 50-50. Some viewed us as a heroes, and some viewed us as just a nurse working there. So it's a divided thing.
I can see what you're saying there. So, what is it like being a mental health nurse during a pandemic, and what are the realities and challenges you have faced during COVID-19?
Oh boy. Okay, I can speak a lot of that.
Okay.
When the pandemic hits, a lot of our nurses get sick. A lot of half of our residents has COVID. So it was divided by according to policies. We have to follow strict policies. Red zone, the positive, yellow zone, the exposed, and a green zone that is clean. So now that there's no nurses, then since I am an LVN, so they pull me to the nursing department to do a nurse job, which I was not doing for quite some time. And the bad timing is perfect time that we are on the computerized thing called PCC. Jesus Christ, that was the biggest challenge for me, transcribing orders using the PCC. And simple orders fine, but with the titrating orders, Jesus Christ, I have to like, wow, I'm so slow with that. And then I have to like call the super user every time. So and then because there's no nurse, and two of us was being pulled. The other one, oh boy, we don't have a DON too. Jesus Christ, at the time the DON scared, resign. So she was acting like a DON, helping my boss, which is a social worker, and me as a charge nurse. And and like struggling with the computer, struggling with the PCC itself, because my PCC program as the mental health department is different. I was trained differently, and so good Lord, that was. And then the schedule's like, okay, you work AM but stretch to PM. Oh, but then I will go home and then they'll call me, can you work no shift? And then I say, there's no one, please. There's no one, please. So I have to say yes, but then I have to tell my boss, okay, as our super user guy there, what to do for knock shift, and please type it down for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What should I do for the whole knock shift? So that was my guide. Oh my God, I was relying on cheat sheet. Or I will call or I will text, help here. I need help here. And so since they're so thankful that I like took the challenge, and I get a lot of sympathy, like, oh, how are you there? How is your nursing job, church nurse kicking in? Like, well, I'm here. I'm fast now. And then I would ask the CNA on the PM shift. I don't know their routine. Hello, team leader, help me here. I don't know your schedules. What you guys are doing at this time? Okay, we're doing this time, because it's all structured. So they tell me at around this time you have to pour your meds and all that. So everything was going smooth, and I'm kind of like collaborating with the CNA what to do, even though I'm the charge on that floor. That was not easy. That was not easy. The pandemic was, wow. I just say wow.
So
And I'm, yeah, my God, very challenging, very challenging. And I don't know, maybe God was just helping us all. I did not get sick. I did not get the COVID thing. And my boss did not get the COVID thing. We pray each other. When we say, oh, I feel like kind of like sick, can you do a rapid test for me? I will pray so much. No, you're not. Oh, you're not, boss. You're not going to be sick. You're not going to be sick. So we're helping each other, and we survive. We thrive.
So it sounds like you've been pulled to the floor, been asked to work some crazy hours, and then you ended up having to learn PCC, point click care. Is that right?
In the nursing department, because my department is a different.
Got it.
Yes.
So Lea, what do you think are the major challenges that nurses face in today's time?
In today's time is shortage.
I agree.
Even now. I was back to my own department. However, we have to help nursing department because that department is struggling. We as a mental health specialist is doing CNA job. Yes, and it's kind of like because our schedule is like routine, and we have stuff to do in a certain time, and at a certain time we have to help the nursing department, to the point that we have to set aside a weekend to work, even though we don't. So, but when we work weekend, we work in the nursing department. We do CNA job, and because I'm an LVN, if the nurses needs me there in the dining room, monitoring patients, low eaters and all that, I have to do that. So we're kind of like that. Yeah. And if there is a test driven because somebody has a positive result, oh boy, twice a week we're gonna be like swabbing our nose.
Yeah. So you're right, the nursing shortage is problematic, and that ultimately leads to them asking you to work more hours. That leads to burnout. Speaking of burnout, how do you go about identifying your own burnout, and how do you prevent or handle it?
All right, now in our department we try to laugh. We kind of like crack jokes, and we kind of like watch videos. But in my own personal thing, how did I kind of like cope so that I will not be burnout? Burnout is to God, I'm reading books that has like fiction, romance, somewhere. I'm somewhere. And then I found LinkedIn, and I'm like doing this commenting, and so I connected with people in the arts. So that was really helpful because it cultivates my mind and into something else. I'm into the moment of reading into their arts and commenting what it is, and then enhancing what I like, which I like poems, like writing poems and all that. So that is really helpful. And listening to that I like. In the office, yes, we have some speakers, so we try to listen to music, and we try to ask everyone, how are you doing? Like any problems at home? And we become like really close, and then they will call me mama. And they call me mama. And then one day my coworker got sick, and he's a guy, and my ego, I'm fine was like, you're not fine, come on, I'm your mama now. and and then they become grateful about that one. And when you ask your coworker, how are you doing, look at their eyes. It's not like the what is called the lip service, how are you doing, because we
Right.
have to ask,
Right.
like the genuine. You have to look, stop, how are you doing? And then sometimes I would really like, don't underestimate me. There's something wrong with your face. And then they would talk. Oh, you know what? This is what happened. Blah 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 blah. And they feel relieved. They open up. So opening up our issues in the office really works. Really works. And we kind of help each other. Where are you in your documentation? Give me some. I'm done. Give me some. So we're doing that. We're covering each other.
So you handle with your own stress by cracking jokes, watching videos, you read books, you connect with people in the arts, you write poems, you listen to music, and you ask others how they are doing, and you really listen to them, especially when you say, how are you doing? Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the best message and tip you can extend to our nurses who are burnout to keep them going?
Okay. Stress is everywhere.
Yes.
It's even in your home.
Yeah.
So realizing that this is stress is very important. You have to realize that this is stress. Without knowing it, you cannot handle it. It will just like pop in your face, and you will be surprised, and you don't know what to do. So recognizing it. Now, even if your day is kind of like good on that day, there's still stress. So you have to like de-stress when you go home. My advice is, when you clock out, please don't think about work. Don't think about work at all. This is important. You are not being paid to worry for work, to like have that stress in your shoulders. And you are not being paid because you're already clocking out. That's my best tips for everyone. And also, there are a lot of coping strategies there. I need them to find one. Even exercising helps me a lot. I followed a video with this is a very nice thing. It's called Walking by Leslie Sansone. Across the ages, if you're younger, there's more faster. If now I'm on my 50s, I follow the ones that is really like good for me, that I will not struggle, that I will not be at risk of having an injury. So that's what I do. And then I do weightlifting. By following the beginner weightlifting because of my age, I'm not an athletic person too. It's just this pandemic is like making me that, because exercise is so important, because on that time, really, whatever is at work would really be out of your brain because you're focused on doing the exercise. Deep breathing is a very cheap exercise. and also drink a lot of water, at least 64 ounces of water. Um, right now, I'm into a program losing my weight because my blood work is. I know I work in healthcare, but I'm not healthy. My labs are like wacky. My doctor was doing this to me, like pointing fingers to me. That means I'm in trouble. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something. So I'm into this program that I'm into this called. I have to work with a health coach. So if you are ready to do that, a health coach or a coach to life coach would be okay if you're okay with that. So any tools that you can grab in there and use it. I mean, this is for our own sanity because we are the caregivers, and when we got sick, guess what? No one would take care of us. No one, especially that there's shortage. Who would take care of us? We take care of ourselves because we are the caretakers, and uh, any tools, any tools that would really make it work for you. Reading, laughing. I mean, there's a laughing yoga that all you have to do is just laugh. I know for all you know, you will laugh. You have a quality of laughing when you start to laugh. That's why it's called laughter yoga. It works too. So it works too. We do that in our office. Okay, let's do laughter yoga, and we laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. And it helps with the women. And if you're a man, exercise. And not eating. And the pandemic sucks. I crave for donuts, and I'm not a sweet person. That's why my blood work was go wacky. And now I'm into this healthy thing, learning mindfulness, mindful of what your thoughts are. Um, um, Whatever in work, because sometimes when nurses are working and all of you is like burnout, like stress out, you have this attitude. I can feel that. But when you go home, that feeling of grudges, you need to like get it out in your system, if possible, because it will just eat you up.
Okay.
Oh,
You
okay,
want
that's
to,
all.
okay, so you're trying to say that to be able to recognize your stress is step one. You have to realize your burnout. You have to first recognize that you stress that. And you said to deal with it, when you clock out of work, don't think about work. You don't get paid for it. Also consider exercising, weightlifting, deep breathing. Make sure you drink water, roughly 64 ounces per day. And consider a
Mhm.
health coach. Is that right?
Yes.
Health coach. Okay. So, what are some changes you would love to see in healthcare after the COVID-19 pandemic?
Hmm. The changes would be uh, staffing,
Staffing.
staffing. Yeah,
Okay.
and also, some managers would just say, "Oh, we appreciate you," but then they will tell us the problems in management.
Okay, Leah, thank you for that information. So, is there a topic you would like to discuss or address that we haven't mentioned yet?
Hmm. I don't think so. I think we discussed a lot.
Okay. So, are you on Nurse Deck Social?
Um, I'm not active yet, but I did went into, but there's nothing yet that I put into it.
Okay. I'd love for you to check it out and to continue the conversation there. We appreciate you for your time today. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'm
All
so
right.
happy.
Yes, I'm happy to have had you interview with us today. Thank you. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.